Hey guys, let's talk about memes because if you're used to my channel, you know I don't really like talking about memes. But there's a lot of good opportunities about them. There's a lot of money that can be made. And there's three of them specifically that you guys, subscribers and those who watch, ask me the most about. And I'm just going to dive right into them today. There are some specific questions you guys asked, and I may or may not point out, hey, this is a question somebody asked. Those of you who ask questions, like always, I'll tag you in this video so you can see it. And so if there's any just random or pinpoint facts I throw out there, it was probably a question from one of you guys. But the three crypto I want to talk about today is Turbo, Foxy, and Toshi. Three three crypto I think are going to do really well this cycle. I am in only Foxy, so I'm only in one of the three I'm going to talk about today, and that is the by far the smaller market cap, and we'll get into that one a little bit. So the reason why I like Turbo and Toshi, other than they're just great memes, is I look into them because I'm probably going to end up buying them to a certain extent at some point in the cycle, right? Like if you guys, again, those who've watched me before know that I like to, we'll call it swing trade or get a 3 to 5x or a little bit more in one crypto. And if I don't think it's going to pump for a while, I'll move into something else I think is going to pump sooner. And that is going to be a huge key thing I do when there's a lot of volatility moving up. And Toshi and Turbo, depending on when they really jump during the market, they're ones I'm really looking at moving some profits into. That's my why. Let's just jump in a little bit to give a little information, a little bit of thought about these three awesome memes. Okay, first one, I will announce this one was a direct question, right? And I've given for Turbo, right? Awesome little meme coin. It was the gimmick for it is that was made fully by AI. Kind of cool. Doesn't actually mean a damn thing, but it's kind of neat. It's got a strong community. It is popular, right? That is a big deal with crypto. During alt season, that's really what matters. Is a coin popular? Are people going to buy it? Do they care about it? And when you have a lot of large influencers that talk about Turbo and that push it, that really does help. Their social media is pretty good. Like they're pretty active with it and everything. And it's on the majority of exchanges right now. I actually think it's on all the major exchanges, which makes it a lot easier because people are going to, you can only buy what you see, right? There is no dilution in it. So Turbo's pretty freaking awesome, to be honest. I think it's a good meme. We'll pull up the charts in a few moments. I think it's around the $230 million market cap, so it's got a lot of room to grow. And I gave price predictions before for it. And I was asked directly, what is the lowest, like most bearish, all hell broke loose price prediction for Turbo? Other than saying zero, right? Like that's not useful. So my actual price prediction, I think in a standard, we're looking at 8 to 10 cents for Turbo. I think if things really go nuts or if Turbo hits big, I could see closer to 20 cents. I am not at all in the train of thought that's going to be $1. If it gets there and you're holding out there, awesome. Make your bank, guys. I just don't personally see that happening. I think the bare bottom anything, if it does shit, I think it's still going to hit at least 3 cents, which when we pull up the charts, you realize that's still a decent move from here. But the reason why I think that's the bare minimum, worst case, World War III and IV came in together to make it happen kind of thing, is that Turbo's already hit 1 cent. And that was during like around when the Trump pumps. And so it's already hit a penny. I know it's going to do better than that. And I've got a theory, which is what you have to run off of, right? That most crypto are going to at least on their first big pump when alt season really flies is going to 2 to 3x what they did in the Trump pump. I can go in more details in later video why I have this theory, but that's what I'm going by with it. And I'm very confident, I guess there's another way to answer the question, is that I would bet money on it gets up to 3 cents. Again, I think it's going to hit closer to 8 to 10, and if it really launches, we're talking 20. But there's that quick thoughts on Turbo. Let's pull up the chart, talk a little bit more about it. So this is the chart of all time. And it looks like a pretty healthy chart, knowing that it's only been around for, what's this, about 2 years. We had big pumps coming in right around the halving and then jumped off really well at the end of 24. It actually held quite well over that penny for a little while. And now we've been staying really well down here in the, 0.3 to 0.4 of a cent. It's a great accumulation zone. Unless there's some big black swan event, I don't think we're going to see back down here into the double zeros 1.5 or double zeros 2. If you want to put a small little buy order in just in case it gets that far and get an awesome entry point, feel free to see how that goes for you. But I think right now is actually an accumulation in this upper half of the 0.003 to 4. Again, fully diluted. Turbo looks pretty good, guys. So let me know your thoughts on it. What's your average on Turbo? Do you plan on DCAing more in? Or are you looking at opening a position in the near future like I will? And just realize something very should be obvious. If you open up positions later, you're not going to get as much of a multiplier gain, right? That should be obvious, but I feel like I'll say it. Like if I move, let's say I sell some of my H bar when it 8Xs again. And I could move some into Turbo, but if Turbo's already at double right now, realize I'm not going to get as many gains, right? It's something dumb to say, but I don't think a lot of people realize that. The timing really matters. So maybe at that point I'll see something better. But I like Turbo. I think it's got a good chance of dipping into the top 100 at some point this cycle. Let's see how it goes. Next, Foxy. So this is the one of the three I am in, and this is a sub $10 million market cap. I get this on Uphold. It's not on Coinbase yet, but the reason why I bet pretty well in Foxy is completely the team, 100%. So Foxy is a meme. They push it more, calling it a mascot, because it's a mascot for 3 companies: Consensus, which is the parent company of Foxy, and then Linea and MetaMask. Decent chance you guys know what MetaMask is, right? It's one of the most common hot wallets. They have a credit card now that is a MetaMask Foxy credit card where you can get reward points like 3% and you can get them all back as Foxy. Kind of cool. It starts adding a real world use to it. And then we have Linea, which is a layer 2 for Ethereum that they are purposefully waiting to time the market to launch. They've already pushed it back a little bit. They said they're going to give about a 1 week's heads up when they throw it in, and they're going to have insider information. The reason why the CEO of Linea and Consensus is Joe Lubin. Joe Lubin was a co-founder of Ethereum. So you have someone who helped make Ethereum, makes a layer 2 for Ethereum, Linea, trying to time the market best. Sounds awesome. Add to the fact that part of his company Consensus is a strategic reserve for Ethereum. So it's doing what Michael Saylor is doing in strategy for Bitcoin, doing with Ethereum. He's got all the freaking inside information, guys, right? So he's going to time this very well and doing major launches with Foxy when Linea comes out. And it's only a sub 10 million market cap. So it's got great potential to go. It would have to 24x just to get where Turbo is. So lower market cap means a higher risk, higher potential reward. Keep that in mind. Let's pull up Foxy quick. All right, guys, and here we are on the Foxy chart. Again, it's in top 3,562 crypto. It's a $7.5 million market cap, right? And you don't have to go on degenerate websites or exchanges to get it. Again, I use Uphold. There's actually several more that you can get on. It's on Bybit, OKX, PancakeSwap, Gate.io, KuCoin, Crypto.com. So it's on all of the big ones except for Binance and Coinbase. Gets on one that's going to be huge. But again, doesn't have to move much in volume to move up a lot in price. And right now, I think is, again, accumulation zone. It might go down a little bit lower. Right now, it's 0.0025. Microcaps tend to move a little bit more hasty in both directions. So this one could come down a little closer to the 0.002 flat or a little bit under. If you want to just get in on something, I don't think this is a bad entry. Can't promise it's going to go down further. But I think it's a great spot. And again, the potential with the backing for it is phenomenal. I'm also as confident as I can be on any meme. This one's never going to go to zero. Just because we know who the owners are, they've got real companies behind it. You know, where every other meme, they don't have anything behind it. They don't usually tell you who the owners or everything is, which is always a little bit scary. But Foxy, I got full trust and faith in this one. Can't wait to see this one shoot up and explode. Lastly, guys, Toshi. I like Toshi a lot. Again, not in it, but it's on base. And I think it's going to be one of the big winners on base. It's at a decent market cap. Again, we'll show that in a couple of seconds, minutes, whatever. But it's riding the base train very well. Anything that is base specific, I think is going to do very well this cycle because Coinbase has been making some fucking moves, guys. Right? They're upgrading their entire app, which base based crypto are going to directly benefit from it because those are the ones who are going to throw into liquidity pools. They're far more likely to do staking, and you can do the stuff before the end of the year on Coinbase app. Awesome. Toshi is going to directly benefit from this because they're also going to advertise the base crypto, right? They're the ones that are more likely to have to learn to earn, or just have the highlighted from it. And Toshi's already doing pretty well. It's already pretty popular. And as we see Ethereum break new highs, which I know it's dipping right now, whatever, it happens. When it goes back up and starts breaking all-time highs, layer twos are going to greatly benefit. And Toshi is very much tied into a layer two base. So I think this one, if I have to guess, I think Toshi is going to explode before Turbo. Then I think Turbo will make its move. Then I think Foxy will. I think Foxy is going to be last just because of the market cap size. However, back to if Linea makes a big move, they're going to carry Foxy with it. So it's hedging your bets on where you want to go with this stuff. But let's pull up the Toshi chart next. So here we go in the last year with Toshi. We're looking at 0.3059, $250 million market cap. So essentially the same size as Turbo, slightly more at this moment. That will change. If we look here back at the Trump pump, we had 1/10 of a penny. Okay, a tenth and a half. Thought 2 zeros 1 4 8 8. Let's call it 2 zeros 1 5. And right now we're floating around at a little bit over a third of that. Okay, so it's got a 3x just to get back to where it is. One of these questions I got from you guys, which honestly I love you guys for commenting, but I hate this question because I don't actually know how to give at all of an accurate answer. But here's my guesstimate. The question was, by mid-December, where do I think Toshi's going to be? It's hard enough to come up with just a price prediction that ends up being accurate in any given way. And now you're asking me to time it. We have no idea when the peak of this market's going to be. So I've got to go ahead and speculate, right? So I speculate that we're going to have the top of the market around October, November. The other big thought is that's going to be or closer to January. All right, I don't know. So let's give you thoughts on both. If I'm right with my first thought and that it's going to happen October to November, I think December prices are probably going to be similar to this, where it's on its way coming back down. If the question was more of where do I think is the highest it will be before December, that's a different question. And that's pretty much asking for a full price prediction. And if I have to give that, I think Toshi is, everyone's going to say a penny, right? Everyone is calling for a penny, rooting for it. So I can promise you it's not going to hit a penny. Because when you have everyone calling for it, large influencers, people who are invested into it, if they think, they could be bullshitting you to use you as exit liquidity. But let's say they're being honest and they think it's going to top out at a penny. You realize that means they're going to sell their big bags of it before a penny, right? Because they're going to want to make sure that they get a profit and front run everyone else selling it first. And then when people start selling, the guys who have big bags, and they start selling a little before a penny and they tell everyone else that they're selling, what are they going to do? They're also going to sell. So I don't think it's ever going to hit a penny this cycle. So where I do think it's going to go, however, as a full price prediction, I suppose, is I think it's going to get close. I think it's going to get somewhere to 0.00 and call it 6 to 0.008. Could it blast past that? Of course it could. Timing always matters. If base releases new information at the same time where the peak of the market for memes or just base in general is going, it could. I'm not going to bet on it personally. But again, like everything else, if you say, screw you fighting crypto, I think it's going to hit 1 cent. Actually, I think it's going to hit 5 cents. And it does, all power to you. Awesome. You have a higher risk. You deserve a higher reward. But I would say by mid-December at the highest, 0.008. In my opinion, where it will be in mid-December, probably closer to 0.003. So those are my thoughts on it. And it looks like we've got a nice little accumulation. It's still a little volatile and wiry here. But if you're looking for an entry point to get in, I probably wouldn't wait much longer than let it drop half of a tenth of a penny to 0.0055. But do with what you will. I think Toshi's going to do very well. And like I said with Turbo, I'm keeping an eye on this one for when I pull some profits out of crypto. I don't think it's going to go too much further, like maybe a 2 to 3x further. If I think Toshi's still got a good 6 to 10 or more, oh yeah, I'm going to move some stuff over here. So that's my thoughts on the three memes that you guys asked me the most about: Turbo, Foxy, and Toshi. So what do you guys think about them? Do you have any follow-up questions on any of them? Do you want my opinion on anything else? Do you want to argue my opinion? So put it down in the comments below. I'm curious what you guys have to say. So that's it for now. I'll talk to you guys all again soon. Peace.